OC Community Resources, approve Amendment 2 to contract with Wise Place to operate women's shelter Safeplace and coordination of services, and authorize director or designee to execute contract, non-substantive documents, and immaterial contract modifications under certain conditions to exercise cost contingency increase or decrease not to exceed 10% for the first year, and make line item budget transfers and corresponding changes to units of service within existing scope of work. And we do have 2 public speaker requests.
Please call the speakers at this time.
The 2 speakers are David Duran and Lou Noble.
Having been familiar with Wise Place, I recognize Wise Place as a good facility. That being said, I did not use the word excellent facility, but it's not their fault. It's the idea that they're doing what they can to provide housing for women, and they do a pretty good job, but their hands are tied. They need more money. They need more services. It's many times that I might take an individual there because she was admitted to Wise Place, and I unload her belongings, and she's told she can have just X amount or the rest has to be thrown away. They do provide some storage, but okay, and I stay and follow up, and 2 weeks later we find out that yes, they do have, they do get their meals, they do get a bed, but they have no access to resources. So this is a pattern from the county that resources are scarce. They don't have an availability to, hop on the bus because there's no bus passes. If they have a doctor's appointment that they somehow are able to make because they own a cell phone, they have no transportation there. If they go to an emergency room because they're sick, there is no transportation to go get them and bring them back home to Wise Place. These, like in many of the shelters and in many of the places, are a population of people who suffer from poverty. So to help, if the county is serious and the cities are serious about helping, and we know that the county has the funds, please support providing services for those in need. Wise Place is certainly qualified. They house people in need. Without that support, without those services, it just becomes a bed where people can exist and not improve. You need to help them improve for the betterment of society. It's not for you, certainly not for me. It's for the betterment of society. Otherwise, you're going to be spending more money. The society will be spending more money on treating them when they get kicked out of Wise Place, or should they be exited because of other regulations.
Okay, on a different note, Ezekiel 22:29 says, the people of the land practice extortion, commit robbery, and oppress the poor and the needy, and mistreat the foreigner. Now in this county, in these cities, there are those who are extorting, robbing, oppressing the poor, and it comes down to that I think that there should be an oversight on Safeplace. Safeplace is good, but management has taken a toll on some of the women. For them to be kicked out for days or weeks for petty little things, when some of these women come from abusive homes, when you throw them back in the streets, that's not good. And that's not good management of this company. And there's many other abuses that have been taken on the homeless, because they're homeless and you have to treat them not as criminals, but as clients. And who's oversighting the people there that are managing the place? Just today, I seen the women out there, because I started looking and seeing the women that were out there. They were coming from White's Place. They were out there in the streets for days, weeks, sometimes. I just got a call just this morning from one of the women's there. I don't know if you could hear this.
Keep me out all day from 8 to 6 in the heat. I'm on 8 different medications. She possibly is keeping me up for a week on the street. I won't make it on the streets. I don't live on the streets. I don't know what to do. Nobody seems to want to help me. I don't know what to do. I wrote a letter to the advocate for Judge Carter. She's kicking me out in the street for stupid reasons. With a little mess because she had bed inspections. It's like we're in jail. It's just ridiculous. She don't want you to come back, but they refuse to be here. It's not like we got busted and went to jail. But anyway, I'm scared. I don't know what to do.
This is one of the women that are running away from abusive homes. Now, is that a way to treat somebody? Even her daughter was in there and was thrown out. Might have been misunderstanding of somehow, leaving a dog on the bed or not getting rid of certain things. But this has to stop. You can't treat people like this. There are citizens. There are, you got to treat poor just like we want to be treated. We got to count our blessings, like you said earlier, because we never know when we could be on the other side at any time. Thank you.
Supervisor Bartlett?
Okay. Chairman, I know this is in your district. Did you want to lead off the item? Or?
Is there anyone here from White's Place? Yes. You've heard a lot of accusations this morning. It's very, very troubling. And I think at least let's address some of the factual statements or alleged factual statements here. It's unbelievable to me that here are the same people that are fighting for these services and then coming here and I don't know what is it they're asking for from this board.
Okay.
So
my name's Tiffany Tavares. I'm the program manager of White's Place, or actually Safeplace is under the umbrella of White's Place. Which particular issue would you like me to address
The first speaker seemed to imply that it's just a place where people sleep, no services.
For some people it is.
Yeah.
For some people we're at low threshold. So we are not required or allowed to require people to do things. So what we do is kind of think outside of the box. Is I'm not allowed to make anybody go to a group or go to counseling or do anything like that. And so
but if they
I brought in a speaker.
But if they want to, would you provide the meeting?
It is available there.
Okay.
We have anger management groups. We have processing groups. We do have case management. We have the county that comes in from healthcare. There are absolutely ways to get out. We were in our original contract. We said we were going to have 3 people a month move out of homelessness or move into another more appropriate placement. And so far we've done 25. So we're meeting better numbers and we're just now hitting our pace. We signed the contract on Wednesday and we opened up on Sunday. And so we had a lot of moving parts that we had to put together as far as just getting staffing. It's 24/7. And because so many of these women come from trauma, we had to get people in there that the security guards that knew how to stand, that knew how to approach women. The respect of each other is expected in there. And if we have exited somebody out of that place, it is because they're not respecting other people or they're being downright mean. Keeping a staff there is difficult because we have people screaming, yelling, cussing, fussing, threatening to sue, all of that on a regular basis. But we also have a lot of other women that are making great strides. We have people that are employed. We have people moving out. And I know that our numbers are going to keep improving as long as we get time to prove it. We just now are hitting our stride. Yeah. And there's going to be people that are mad, period. If you come in there and you're drunk and you're loaded and you're screaming and yelling and you're keeping everybody else up, and some of those people have to go to work, and you've done that 2 or 3 times, you're getting exited. And we do it in a way that you are a grown woman. You have responsibility to yourself and to this program and everybody working together. So that's the way we're a little bit different. There are expectations of everybody to be respectful to each other from staff and residents. It's not just on one side or the other.
And that's true with any shelter.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Otherwise, we would have chaos.
Yeah, we're not going to make everybody happy.
I was there with Judge Carter Sunday morning, and I saw the staff at Wise Place. I saw volunteers scrambling to put the facility together to take the first 60 residents. And I know you have worked very hard to make adjustment to your parking lot, to build a laundry facility.
Absolutely.
And so it's understandable that like you said, things are fluid and that we have to make adjustments along the way. But I want the public to not walk away thinking that image that was portrayed earlier, that somehow it is something that happens regularly at Wise Place, or that it's something that we don't care about at the county. Because the Wise Place is a partner with us very closely, and Judge Carter has put a lot of trust in Wise Place, just like the county. And that's why we're here to re-up the contract.
The reality is that we have to do this on a scale that will serve the most people as well as possible. And so we have people that have extreme mental health issues that we have to kick out. Is that horrible? Absolutely horrible. Do we need somewhere for them to be? Absolutely need somewhere for them to be. I hate doing it personally, but if they're screaming and yelling all night and other people can't sleep, that doesn't make for a safe place. If they're threatening other people, this stuff happens, and this is all part of the bigger picture that we have to address. And thank you all for addressing that and being here and working on this issue, because this is a public health issue that's not going away, and we all know it. But one of the things that I think we need to not attack the ones that are actually standing up trying to do a difference or make a difference.
Good.
And give them support. I'm not saying don't hold people accountable, and you can stop by any time and look at our shelter and see what we're doing. Our doors are open.
Right. Thank you. Supervisor Bartlett.
Okay, so I also walked through the shelter, and I know you've got 60 women in a gymnasium, and you're making the best of the situation. And Wise Place does a tremendous job. I mean, this is a very vulnerable population with unaccompanied women coming into the shelter with a whole host of different needs. But I think we had a 6-month pilot program, and now we're continuing the program. And I have no fault with the services that are provided, but I don't have a lot of detail on things. And I know if you can work with staff in the future from the 6-month pilot program, getting us some of the detailed information about the women that came through, how many you were able to place into housing, how many went into recuperative care, what the issues were, because it's going to help us better formulate where to put our dollars and how to put these programs together for the future. When you take a look at the dollars associated with the renewal of this contract for a year, it's very high on a per person basis. It's about 7 times the amount on a per person basis than we have at Kramer and Courtyard, some of our other county shelters. And there could be very good reasons for that, but they're really not delineated. And I think that's something that the board needs to know, because this really emphasizes the fact that we need to build out that system of care as quickly as possible. Sure. I mean, when we have these kinds of expenditures that are a very high dollar amount on a per person basis out of our general fund, it can't continue at that level, and that's why getting people into permanent supportive housing with wraparound services, building out those 2,700 units countywide is really critical. And these kinds of programs that are essential to part of that system of care just emphasizes where we need to put our dollars long term to actually solve the problem of homelessness, as opposed to just a very expensive temporary Band-Aid, which is kind of what we've got right now. But work with our healthcare agency, get some of those details of the successes in the program, the specific services that are provided, so that as we move these programs through on our agenda, we know exactly which programs are working, what we need to tweak, where we need to allocate our dollars.
I agree 100%.
Thank you.
All good?
And I'll second.
Sorry. I move the item. Supervisor Bartlett seconded my motion. Any opposition? Item passes.